Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Superstars of Wrestling Review series. This particular episode is the April 11th, 1987 edition. A couple of weeks after WrestleMania 3, probably one of the biggest times in the history of the World Wrestling Federation or pro wrestling in general. Jim Duggan comes out with a bandage around his head, I assume, still acknowledging being jumped a couple days before by Sheik and Volkov. Anyway, Duggan, buried in blood, cuts a promo about how he wants to get his hands on those mortal enemies of his. Of course, he helped the Killer Bees get a victory over that particular tandem, Sheik and Volkov at WrestleMania 3, and we go to a Coco Beware and Jimmy Jack Funk enhancement match. Coco Ware, part of the six-man tag team match with the Hart and Danny Davis in WrestleMania 3, and Ware bouncing all the way around. A couple of drop kicks, a power slam, and it's not a good day to beat Jimmy Jack Funk. Of course, Jimmy Jack Funk brought in mainly as a comedy gimmick and a favor to Oregon promoter Sandy Barr. Funk really never finds his way in the WWF. Huge diving, leaping fist drop from the second rope by Coco Ware, and he actually overshoots him. He's a little bouncy. Meanwhile, Frankie the McCaw, aka Parrot, is on the outside of the ring, cheering on Coco with a squawk here and a squawk there. Coco throws himself into the corner, doesn't land very well, and Barr manages to use a top rope type guillotine maneuver. We then see the Gourd Buster, Brain Buster style maneuver by Coco for the victory. We also see Craig DeGeorge promoting a new tag team, otherwise known as Demolition Axe and Smash, and their new manager, at their request, believe it or not. Their original manager, Johnny Valiant, didn't work for them. He says they're too much comedy. Axe and Smash carrying on about having Mr. Fuji, the most sinister Mr. Fuji, as their manager. And of course, that iconic pairing going to be together through the Survivor Series of 1988. So together about a year and a half. Meanwhile, the nature of a tag match with Bravo and Valentine, managed by Johnny V. This is a team that formed at WrestleMania as well to a lesser degree. The New Dream Team. They don't last very long. I believe the enhancement talent goes right to town on Bravo here. Might even be Danny Spivey. I'm not 100% sure on that. But he's bouncing all over the place. Drop kicks, arm drags, and the like. Bravo and Valentine, as mentioned, I don't even think they last 6 months. They might have lasted through the end of '87, but Bravo is certainly on his own, and by the beginning of '88, Jimmy Hart has taken over. I think Johnny V is done in sometime in '87, which is kind of in a way sad because Johnny V, I think, especially with part as the Valiant brothers, Jimmy, Jerry, and Johnny, a major part of the '70s tag team. Anyway, Greg Valentine does not look particularly in the best of health here. Just stocky and kind of, I don't want to say ugly, but he's bloated a little bit. Side suplex by Dino Bravo. Bravo gains the win for his team. We see an upcoming hype series, Jimmy Hart, bringing in one of his men and brings in a shaved head Adrian Adonis. Adonis trying to find his way. He's going to go into a feud with Brutus Beefcake, which doesn't last very long. Of course, Adonis passes away, I believe it's 88, the 4th of July, 1988, in a motor vehicle accident, sadly. Anyway, but he is readying for a house show series with Brutus Beefcake here, and Adonis, not looking to be in the best of shape. He's gone from the WWF very soon hereafter. I think he does pop up for a month or two, maybe a little more in the AWA around this time. But Adonis's major run is done and over. What is not done and over, though, is the run of the Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man having a big match with Jake Roberts at WrestleMania 3 involving rock and roll legend Alice Cooper. Honky Tonk Man, though, just finding his way, a couple of months away, probably about 2 months away on this particular airing from winning the Intercontinental Championship. Jimmy Hart has started the band, the DDT series or campaign, and that's a big thing for a couple of months. Of course, Jake Roberts having stints in drug rehab and other things that inhibit the feud from completing naturally at house shows. There are some rematches available on tape, I'm pretty sure, but not as many as one would like. Big fist drop a la Jerry Lawler by the Honky Tonk Man. And, he hits that shake, rattle, and roll. Gets the finish and the victory. And, obviously, Honky Tonk Man is on his way to a legendary WWF career. They actually have a P.O. box for Ban the DDT. Jake Roberts is unimpressed with this. He's ready to face whomever, wherever, including the Honky Tonk Man. And he basically says he is ready to eradicate the Honky Tonk Man all across the country. The Rougeau brothers still kind of a little lost. Enhancement match here. They are still baby faces here and lacking direction. I mean, they're great wrestlers, but they just don't necessarily have much to do with themselves. Real basic match. They're hyping things along and going after everything they can. Shoulder tackles, nice drop kicks by Jacques and Raymond both. They work together, do a lot of mat work, and a inverted roll up there. Then we see a up close personal family interview. Bonnie Steamboat, otherwise known as the wife of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, sitting beside her husband, who I believe she's either pregnant or just given birth at this time. I think she's pregnant, but Randy Savage, by the way, is unhappy, does not want to talk to anybody in an interview. But anyway, Steamboat says what a joy it is to be the Intercontinental Champion. Of course, he wants to take time off within a couple of weeks, so I'm pretty sure that Bonnie Steamboat is pregnant here in this video, and Ricky leaves wrestling for a little bit and loses the Intercontinental Championship as a result. All that build-up for a couple-month title reign, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. Really sad, actually. Anyway, we move back to Enhancement Talent time. Bobby Heenan in the middle of the ring, endorsing his man Hercules Hernandez, who he has been with from the beginning. Hercules, of course, at this point a heel, doing the chains around the neck deal, a la the Greek Hercules. Punch, kick, basic stuff, suplexes, and full Nelsons. Still doing a series of rematches with the wonder that is Billy Jack Haynes. That doesn't last too long because I think Haynes is gone by sometime in late '87. I don't think he's left by November, certainly. I think he's even left by summer. But anyway, Jimmy Hart out doing promos and continuing promos for his man Adrian Adonis. Adonis has the butcher shear, or the barber shears. Butcher shears? No, those will come later in '94. For Brutus Beefcake. and wants revenge on Beefcake, as can be expected. Um, we then go back to the ring in a um, in a tag team match. The Hart Foundation against Ricky Hunter and SD Jones. Jones, who I don't ever remember seeing. Maybe he retired by '89 when I became a fan, or maybe he was just on a different circuit tour. But I think he retired '89, '90, something like that. Anyway, the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart as your WWF Tag Team Champions is the opposition for this particular group of folks. At the end of the day, very basic thing here. Hart and Danny Davis are commiserating on the outside of the ring, and Danny Davis is a heel for Jimmy Hart for several more months before going back to reffing in late '88, early '89. Bret Hart showing precision, elbows to the back of the neck, and what have you, even here in this particular foray into wrestling. And the British Bulldogs make their way out after continued harassment and assault by the Hart Foundation. Bulldogs obviously still unfinished with the Hitman and the Heart Attack 1, 2, 3. Bulldogs run in and get attacking and that, and then we move to a event center style promo, upcoming rematch for Randy Savage in the steel cage. This is before the blue bar steel cage was prominent, or at least not used in every area, because they have the chicken wire and not the blue bar cage set up for this upcoming, at least the hype for the Steamboat Savage cage match, which I'd love to see. I don't think I've ever seen a Steamboat Savage cage. I know I saw. No, that was Honky Tonk Man and Strike Force versus Savage and the Hart Foundation. I don't know that I've ever seen a Savage Steamboat cage match. Would like to see. Speaking of things I'd like to see, more Superstars is on the way, and we'll be back with more right after this.